Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another professional game of StarCraft 2. Today in the bottom left spawning as the red Zerg player is going to be none other than Gu. And in the bottom right spawning as the blue Terran, it's going to be the GSL champ. The Terran of the people. It is Cure. The reason why he's the Terran of the people is that he usually plays builds that regular people can also play. And a lot of the things he does don't seem superhuman. Some things that Terrans do, like you get your clams, your marus, they don't seem possible for your average Terran, but the things Cure does, you look at it and you think to yourself, I could see myself doing it. And you try to execute it, and obviously it goes completely wrong. But theoretically, in your head, you believe that you might be capable of doing what Cure does. Even though in the end it doesn't happen. But that's what makes him the Terran of the people. He's going to open up with a Reaper first here as well. And we gotta see what his follow-up is going to be. SCV is being rallied somewhere. It's gonna be for a fast factory, I assume. It's interesting to see. So that means we're gonna get a second gas down as well. Otherwise, usually if you open up with a triple CC, you actually let this SCV build the factory. Delays your factory a bit, but that's no big deal. Yep. Here comes the second gas. And a slightly delayed third base because of that, of course. Well, slightly delayed. A minute and a half. First Reaper's gonna try to take out the Ling. Isn't... Well, it's actually... Might have gotten one if he targeted that correctly. But doesn't quite end up getting that. Here we go. Does end up getting one. Queen's still a couple of seconds away. So there's still a possibility that some of these units are still gonna get damaged. Cure. Oh! Almost forgets to control his Reaper there, but we'll keep it alive. CC finishes up. And now we get to see... well, the tech path is most likely just going to be a starport. Gas is in the bank already. If this is anything but a starport, I'd be very surprised. We'll see what this barracks is going to do though. This could just be a tech lab for the barracks itself, or it could be a couple of marines being built here. There's a lot of options. It's going to be a straight up tech lab. Could also of course be for banshees. There's really... This doesn't tell us a whole lot yet. We see still only a single kill on the Reaper, and it's trying to get more done. Maybe take out a creep tumor or something along those lines. But I think DRG is good enough to not let that happen. Now comes the big question, is this barracks going to float somewhere else? Yep. Okay, so we're going to see a Banshee opener. Possibly still a Raven opener, although I know that Cure isn't too fond of them Raven openers. So I'm kind of expecting it to be a Banshee opener. Here we go. Cloak and Banshee. Extra Queens being produced on the side of DRG as well. These two scars are looking for some type of damage. Not quite getting it yet. Ideally, always tank the queen shots with your Reaper, and then your Hellions can shoot once or twice. Your Reaper regains the health, obviously. But it's quite nice when that happens. Just keeping some of these scars at home. And this DRG hasn't really scouted yet. I'm not quite sure what DRG thinks of this.
Add-on.
Maybe he believes that it's just a double car into something else. It's possible. And now 6 cars are gonna show up. Could be difficult here. Could be very difficult for DRG to deal with. He doesn't have any spores on the way yet. Spores should start in about 5 to 10 seconds. So in about 5 seconds from now. If they don't, then these Banshees could pose a bit of a threat to the drone count here. Hellions are coming in for a big rotation, but Queens will be in time. Should be capable of pushing the back. Here come the 450 spores. There's also one in the main base, but this bad boy is already going to have Cloak, and there's not quite a spore ready yet. Which means that this Banshee is going to be capable of taking out a bunch of workers. That is 5 already. These Hellions might not get the damage that they want, but this Banshee by itself getting 7 kills without having his mate there yet. That is a pretty big deal. Second Banshee is also out at this point, and together they can achieve even more. There's no lair yet, which means that these queens might have trouble rotating from base to base. Doesn't have a 4th spore in between. He just went up. Only has 2 spores actually. One in the main, one in the natural, which means his 3rd base is open. I don't think that should matter too much. I have my doubts that Cure's gonna send his Banshees there, but still a little bit risky. This lair is very, very late. That means that the Overseer is going to be very delayed as well. I like that Cure is just trying to stop any type of drone transfer from going on. But Banshee's gonna run out of energy and will Actually, we'll get 3 more workers. That's nice. Good start here for Cure, who ends up picking off 10 workers. Doesn't really lose any cars, I believe. Yep, lost nothing so far. Killed 10 workers and a Ling. 10 workers is not the worst thing if you're playing against the 2 gas before 3rd CC, but ideally you don't really lose 7 workers to the first banshee. It's a little bit sloppy, of course. 1-1's coming in quick though here for DRG, who will be following this up with fast 2-2 as well. Bailing Nest on the way already. Seems this is getting set up for a very powerful mid game. And lately we've actually been seeing some mid-game timings coming out of this type of opener. So if the Zerg believes that he has a somewhat of a timing, we very often see them push out with 2-2s. With this build, these upgrades are so darn fast that you really do tend to get big pushes going where you're up 10-15 supply and you're going to be up 2 upgrades, flow in or fly in with the pure Ling Bane, and yeah, it's just going to be really difficult for the Terran, especially if Terran doesn't realize what's going on. They have part of their army on the map. Good luck defending against a crap ton of Lings and Banes. His gold is being saturated as well, which means that DRG is going to have a very large income advantage for the next few minutes. This is pure Ling, by the way. He's going to get the surround against these non-combat shielded Marines. Marines do manage to micro their way out of it. But DRG still gets a decent trade. Honestly, yeah, a decent enough trade. There was no Banelings there, and Lings are just very cheap. Obviously that fight would have gone better if more Banelings had been there, but with 1-1 against 0-0 Marines without combat shield, pure Ling Queen trades well enough at least. You see DRG really wanting to clean this up completely, starts moving forward, should really try going for that tank if he wanted to clean this up. Decides not to do that quite yet. 3.3k minerals being pumped out here for DRG. Who is getting into stays on a very low drone count, getting into a higher army count right now. 2 banshees gonna show up. There is a Spore in position. This queen needs to help out as well. Spore's actually dealing a crap ton of damage here. I think one of these banshees is going to fall. I think both banshees are going to fall. 10 workers go down though. That's a big hit. 11 drones immediately get rebuilt. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. This type of timing is where you wait for your 2-2 to finish and then you go in. You're gonna need centrifugal hooks with that though. Centrifugal hooks will be done in 50 seconds, so might just sync up with that +2 melee attacks. And makes these Banelings just a little bit weaker. Here comes Cure. Is he gonna be in time? Who's not paying attention? Sloppy micro here out of the GSL champ. Loses 8 Marines. Killed like 4 or 5 Lings, so that's not good enough. Simply not good enough. We get a quick scan here, and a couple of these tumors are gonna get taken out. But this will need to be a lift off and a boost back. Creep tumors immediately get replaced by new ones. And nothing bad is going on in the world of DRG right now. This 2-2 is finishing up, ends up losing a couple of Lings while attacking the rocks. Banelings don't have centrifugal hooks yet. I'd be very surprised to see DRG actually attack with an army like this. We have the Hydra then, as well as the Infestation Pit coming up, which makes a lot of sense if you want to transition into Lurkers. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you want to go in with a large Baneling count. Look at that gas as well. Look at that. 900 gas in the bank currently. We're already on 6 gases. Have we been on 6 gas for a while here? I didn't quite realize that. Yeah. DRG has been on 6 gas for a long time. No, okay, 5 gas. This gas wasn't taken until just now. Feeling kind of like those Hydra Ling Bane vibes. And instead he's just going to go straight into Lurkers. Range upgrades coming in as well. Cure will need to put up a solid defense in order to survive in this game, as DRG so far is getting everything done without any major problem. Sure, he lost 20 workers total, but none of these Marine pushes actually did anything. Like, no bases have been cancelled yet, no major creep has been denied, no big fights have been won here for Cure. It feels like Cure has really been struggling to get some type of momentum in this game, and majority of the time he's just on the map with 2-3 medevacs and the rest of his army at home trying to defend, making sure he doesn't die. There's a cool trick here where you can explode the Banelings behind the gold minerals, and then with the splash you get the SCVs that are standing on this side. It's not very cost efficient, but it is a fun trick nonetheless. Love the sensor tower positioning, by the way. Look at that. The moment one Hydra pops out though, that tower is gone. Here comes a big attack out of DRG. He's maxed. He has Pureling Bane. Wants to blow up one of the planetaries here. Is going to be able to get the planetary. If this CC also goes down, that would be a huge deal. That's actually still a pretty huge deal. Even just getting that one planetary, getting 14 workers, and a pretty decent trade altogether. The problem here is that the next base is ready immediately, and I don't think this was necessarily good for the unit loss step. If you take out this other CC as well, it means that Cure is going to be back to mining on 3 bases, and most importantly, he won't have any mining in the gold. Right now, 9 SCVs are moving already over to the gold, and he can of course still throw a couple of mules as well at other bases, so his mining is going to be probably around 3.4, 3.5, depending on the amount of mules he wants to throw down. And all of that on just 69 workers. It's actually going to go up to maybe even more. 3,500, 3,600, yeah. Big money. Big money for a low worker count. 3-3 is on the way, another command center being built here as well. DRG continues his dominance on the map though. Cure might be strong when he's close by planetaries and tank positions, but DRG is strong everywhere else. And that is potentially an issue for Cure if he wants to start expanding to a 5th base. Probably is going to go towards the top base, but also a possibility to take this forward one. That just makes him a little bit more vulnerable to Baneling Bust or Ling Bane Bust or any type of attack really. They're not trying to deny a 5th base, but also be with Lurkers of course. It's just harder to be very compact and properly defensively set up when you're more spread out over 5 or 6 bases. I actually see him going towards this bottom side forward base. With these rocks already down, I think DRG might be very willing to pounce on this base. 2 Vipers are here. We don't have any Lurkers out yet. We do have Seismic Spies done. We're gonna get Adaptive Talents, Carapace upgrades, extra range upgrades as well. But so far, we don't have a single Lurker on the map yet. I don't completely mind that, honestly. There is something about Pureling Bane, which is very strong. Look at this Baneling count, by the way. It's gonna go up to 55 Banelings. Vipers are here as well. Here comes DRG. I don't think he should go before this turned into a planetary, because you want to be capable of busting it. If you can bust it with a bunch of Banelings, then he needs to replace it, and you can bust it again. And that's kind of the play here. There's also no SCVs here whatsoever. So at this point, this is an empty position. I really like that DRG is waiting. You want this position to not be empty. Maybe a couple of Lurkers here would be capable of doing something that way. Oh, here comes the fight. Planetary could still be cancelled and lifted is exactly what we're going to be seeing here. And this is what I'm talking about. A completely empty position. Which means that you can get all the units here. But these type of trades tend to not be too brilliant for the Zerg. You see the units lost actually going heavily in favor there of Cure. Now there is plenty of income here for DRG, and DRG wants to keep doing this. But now you need to re-go. As DRG, you need to rebuild your Banelings. You just lost 55. He's building like 15, 16, 40, 56 new Banelings. Okay. It's going to continue down the same path basically. But now we have a good setup. A lot of tanks are in position. A couple of Liberators as well. This Marine Force will get the lift off. Ghosts need to come into position here. I don't think he can just fight into this, honestly. I know that 60 Banelings are a lot of Banelings, but at the same time, this is like 7-8 tanks, and they're in good positions. Planetary is going to help out as well. Blinding Clouds are fine. Hitting 3 to 4 tanks here. Banelings are going to connect with, well, at least a lot of the bio and a bunch of these Ghosts also. I think we're at 11 Ghosts. Now we're left at 6. Takes out the planetary as well, and this was a completely fine fight for DRG. And he wants to go again. 92 more links on the way here. This position has been broken a little bit. Double factory tank production is going to help Cure out, but he's... Oh, he can't even land this one because there's a burrowed link. He needs to fix that pretty quickly. 8 marine drop here is going to try to deny this base. This is another reason why DRG is so extremely keen on taking out this base again and again, because once this base gets established, it becomes difficult to mine from a base like this. So it's really cool to see him consistently trying to break this position. Now, Cure is going to get another attempt at defending this base, and This actually is his last command center that he has available right now. So if this one goes down, for a while this base will just not be capable of being taken. There is an orbital nearby, but I would not recommend trying to hold this position with an orbital. DRG is setting up right now. A couple of changelings are moving forward, trying to get an idea of what this position looks like. And here comes DRG. To the main fight. Planetary is just barely done. Blinding Cloud hitting a bunch of these tanks actually. Overseers are gonna get taken out. There is cloak on these ghosts. Personal cloaking is there. This was a fantastic fight here for Cure. The first fight truly where he holds extremely easily, gets a good trade, and now is going to be able to kind of leverage that hold into the taking out of this base. Which means that we're working with an almost perfect split map scenario. DRG taking the top base. Cure eventually most likely will be capable of mining this bottom base. And that is an issue here for the Zerg player, because the moment you get into this phase of the game in which you're down 14-15k in resources, in units lost, and your opponent also is going to be able to force a split map, yeah, you're just going to be in a world of trouble here. These Lurkers are trying to do something. I feel like perhaps a bit earlier this could have been done already. This is open, by the way, so there's potential here for run-bys to kill tanks at least. Changeling's gonna get taken out by these ghosts. And Double Spire is also on the way here. So DRG already mentally preparing for that late game in which he will need to get a couple of decent trades off. And that's going to be with Broodlord Infestor. If he wants to get decent trades, it has to be with Broodlord Infestor, because it's not possible with any other Zerg army. Once the Ghost and there's this many tanks, Liberators on the map, it just becomes really difficult to get anything proper done with Lurkers. Now, Lurkers are going to be moving in here, and oh my god, this is a very aggressive play. Good abduct there as well. Planetary is going to get taken out. We actually missed a Blinding Cloud on the Planetary. As it gets taken out, I think DRG is going to be pretty happy with this. 12 workers also go down. And one of the things that Cure tends to not do, rather than do properly, is that he tends to not actually rebuild workers too much. And that worries me, because right now he's at 60. He doesn't have a... well, there's 2 more orbitals on the way. It's going to be a bigger orbital count. Okay, here we go. 4 more SCVs on the way. That's good to see. Sometimes he just sticks at like 60, 65, rather than going back up to 72, 73, which I wouldn't really mind if you go up to a slightly higher worker count here. Just to get a bit more income. I mean, the fights are most of the time still going to be good for the Terran, but it allows you to get a bigger bank. We've seen people like Maru go up to 87, 88 workers. Just these really high SCV counts. Has a way smaller army, and the trades tend to be a little bit worse. You're walking a thinner line when it comes to these fights, but it does mean that when you take a bad fight, you can still almost instantly remax. I've even seen Maru go up to like 14 racks or 11 racks. Just really quick reproduction. Almost playing like a Zerg at times. Now I have Thors on the way, so Cure already anticipating what's coming. That's most likely going to be these Broodlords with these upgrades. Space gonna get taken out. There's really no way for DRG to keep this. The question is, however, does Cure have enough here on top to actually keep this base? There's a lot of Overseers. We see the Lynx trying to go for a surround. They won't be able to get it. Oh, good. Blinding Cloud on top of this one tank. This Planetary is going to end up falling. So is the Refinery, but a lot of these Lurkers did go down. Actually, is this Planetary gonna fall? No. Good repair is gonna save the Planetary. 19 workers do go down. 45 workers left here for Cure. This was a bad fight, a really bad fight for DRG, but it was a fight that he needed to take. He needs to do damage right now, and I actually think he should keep pushing no matter what happens. Right now is the time to go. He needs to deny this gold from mining, he needs to deny this top base from mining, because if this fresh base can get muled down, that is a real issue. And I love the way that Cure is using his mules, by the way. Every single time after he holds a base, he says, okay, I can throw in mules, because I will now know that these mules are going to at least survive half their life, and that's going to give me a large income boost. If you just throw them all the time, in that case, sometimes you're going to lose a bunch of mules that just have recently been dropped. But Cure is very strategical with his mule usage. He says, okay, I'm only going to use them when I know that you're rebuilding up, when you're building these hydras and links that you want to morph into banes and lurkers. And that is different from some Terrans that you see. You just cannot drop them everywhere. I think this medevac is going to go down against a parasitic bomb. Oh, no. An abduct will do instead. That base is gonna get taken again by DRG. As DRG realizes the importance of that base, if he is not going to be capable of blasting his opponent, this hatchery will end up falling. Yep, will end up falling. It's gonna actually put a bit of a dent in the eco of DRG as well. Ghost moving forward to snipe. Need to be careful though. Could get surrounded here by a lot of links. There is overseers with this army. All of these ghosts are gonna go down. Huge error out of cure. Getting a little bit over aggressive. There's still 4 ghosts here on the bottom. The lurk count isn't even necessarily that high, but that was a huge trade here for DRG. Still has a bunch of resources in the bank, but is starting to run low. He really is starting to run low. Oh, he has plenty of larvae. I was going to say, why isn't he producing anything? He should have some larvae available. He's going to try to max out again. Tank on the low ground will be capable of taking out this base once and for all, as now the command center starts flying on. I love this scan, trying to figure out what the army comp is going to deal with his opponent. And he sees a bunch of lurkers morphing. Now he knows exactly what to do. He's building 2 hellbats. Is that a mistake? Hellbats tend to be good against Broodlords, so you can clear the broodlings very quickly, but no such thing on the way here. Thors are gonna get caught in the middle of the map, a little bit sloppy. That's 2 Thors. There's 2 more Thors over here. This army isn't actually that great at fighting lurkers, honestly. Good blinding clowns are being used. A couple of EMPs go down, so these Vipers are now out of energy. But this has been a very good fight so far. Sadly, there's no more overseer, which means that these ghosts have free reign, and these lurkers, as they try to retreat, do get sniped a couple of times. 8 lurkers still alive, 5 overseers with this army right now, and the lurkers are trying to move forward. I think DRG is getting very close to breaking his opponent here with this Hydra lurker army. Cure not quite with the income and the production that he needs. Still does have 1300 minerals, but is kind of lacking the gas. Needs to start saturating these refineries as fast as possible. That's what happens, I guess, when you lose the gold base, is that you're just lacking gas as well. Right now he's mining from 4 refineries. That's just not enough gas for what he wants. DRG keeps moving forward. And ideally DRG gets some type of attack going on this planetary. Perhaps even just a lurker behind it would be huge, so you can deny the mining there. Of course, DRG doesn't understand right now, or doesn't know, and he can't know, how important that gas on that base is for Cure. So being capable of taking out this base is absolutely vital. It's gonna get taken out very quickly. All of these SCVs will fall. I think Cure is in a world of trouble right now. DRG, it felt like he was dominating for a large part of this game, but never really was getting the fights that he wanted to. And well, at this point he must have gotten a very good fight. It was almost 20k resource loss difference, and I think grabbing those ghosts is really where this game kind of turned around, where things started going right for DRG. This is a good move out, by the way. Fantastic move out of here. It's going to cancel this base, deny a little bit of gas mining, a little bit of mineral mining as well. This base being taken is a pretty huge deal. It means that DRG now has the ability that as long as he has this area, it doesn't really matter too much what he does, because he's just going to be mining way more than his opponents. Even long distance mining from this gold. I actually do like that. Usually not a huge fan of long distancing, but here, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. We're going to see some tanks moving forward. Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Can you repeat the question? Tanks are going to try moving forward, but with Vipers in the neighborhood, that could be a dangerous mission. Of course, ghosts are also around. Should be plenty of ghosts here. A couple of snipes go down. He's trying to get as many lurkers as he can as well. Will be capable of getting 2-3 lurkers. Now the lurkers are going to move forward. Is this the fight that DRG can take though? There's no mines. There's a bunch of hellbats tanking these baneling hits. Was this a good fight for DRG, or did he just throw away his massive advantage? I think it might have been the latter. Oh no. DRG going into a position where he absolutely didn't need to go after losing 4 or 5 lurkers already. Now he's going to lose this top right side base, and with losing that top right side base, could potentially just be straight up losing this game. There's not that much mining left here for the Korean Zerg player. This base isn't mining, and with this base not mining, it's gonna suck. Still has 4k gas in the bank though, and it's mining these... Oh my god, there's a lot of fumbles here. What? Another one, another one. One more, 2 more. He's gonna be... Well, I don't think he has enough stuff though. He hit every single fungal on this army. The question now is, does he have enough to finish it up? And I think the answer is still going to be no. The supply is in favor of DRG, but the army tab is heavily in favor of Cures. He hasn't really rebuilt any workers. It's kind of a deceptive little supply here. Deceptive supply lead for DRG. He's gonna start mining from this base. Can't fight here. Impossible. GG gets called. Cure wins this game as DRG has to tap out. Wow. What a banger of a game. Lots of twists and turns. And Cure does end up winning in the end. Tough luck for DRG. But I mean, performed very well on a map like Blackburn. Don't think he's going to be too upset. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye bye.